Hello, 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 and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Confidence Culture Conversations. And drum roll, we are episode 99. Come on. How are you doing, Kirubai?
I'm well, and how are you doing? You seem to have a little bit of a sniffle.
I think the weather is getting to me. The weather is getting to
Oh, yeah, the change in weather. I suppose we just have to be a little bit more cautious and dress up a little bit more sensibly because you are out in the early in the mornings where it's really chilly, taking Janaya to school. And then midday it warms up. Today we had beautiful sun.
We did, and it was lovely, and I was feeling so hot.
So from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
So are you up feeling good to speak today on to share and to
Well,
unpack our title?
we're talking about finishing strong, so I'm not gonna let the weather get to me. I am going to finish strong, and today is a sign of that. So in the midst of the sniffles, the coughing, we are finishing strong. That's it. We're finishing strong.
Well done, well done. I like your enthusiasm. Yes, we should never quit because these are temporary setbacks that will kick us up to doing what we are called to do. Don't
That's
let
it.
us let the little setbacks throw us out of balance.
Mm,
Mm. So before we jump into our subject that we're going to discuss today,
hmm
so did you have a nice weekend? And oh yeah, you did have a nice weekend
I think we had a nice weekend.
together. Yes, we did.
Yeah, no, somebody turned 7, just somebody, so we had some family time, which was actually really nice. Um, yeah, it's funny. As September is ending, I'm reminded this month my mom celebrated her birthday and she turned 77.
Wow.
And of course, the gap between her and Janaya is 70 years. So she turned 77 and Janaya turned 7. So, hey, there's a lot of completion going on if we're talking about the number
Uh,
7, right?
for mom, double completion, and for Janaya, just completion.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Yes, and you know, children grow up so fast these days.
They do.
And seeing the photo collage and the Facebook just reminded me how well the young lady has grown, from
Growing
a
every day.
tiny uh,
Growing every day.
growing every day from a tiny toddler to a blossoming young teenager. She looks very tall now, every day. Yeah, as you say, every day she is growing taller and taller.
Mm.
So I pray that she will grow in wisdom and understanding, counsel and might, and the knowledge and the fear of God.
Amen.
Yes, we
Amen.
bless that little Janaya, who's a bundle of joy to many.
Yes, she is. Yes, she
Yeah.
is.
Yes. So I
How
also
was
had a
your
very
weekend?
yes, I had a very interesting weekend. It was good. Robert was kind enough to drive me to this lovely place. It's a golf resort with a spa and lovely place, lovely setting. And it was 2 days of R&R, and I was invited to do a workshop, which was very refreshing because of the environment and it was new people. You met new connections, and I think empowering women looking through a different lens. We take colors so lightly because the workshop was called Walk the Talk with Colors, Your Personal Brand.
Right.
And it was a different colors as as you would say, wearing a yellow or wearing a blue or wearing a red. But I think I opened their eyes to the world of colors, and it was very interesting. Even some of the things that came out of my mouth, I didn't, I was surprised myself. And that's how God leads us when we completely trust Him with a new
Mm,
subject matter, because it was a different approach. And I'm
that's it.
so glad that I was tuned into what God was trying to tell me.
Mm, awesome.
Mm.
Well done.
So very excited about this new phase of taking colors to a different level.
That's it. That's it. And you know what? I think I said this before that sometimes we don't often realize the power of colors,
Mm.
the effect of colors, but it's amazing when you sort of get into the psychology of colors, so to speak. Cool. Maybe one day we'll talk about colors here. Hey, who knows?
Yeah, we should, and empower people. Open their eyes to see things differently,
That's it. That's it.
and that's what empowerment is all about.
Mm,
Seeing things in a different perspective,
mm,
and uh, and it broadens our viewpoint, perspective, our viewpoint. We take the good and maybe leave those things that don't work for us.
that's it.
And that's exactly what we're going to speak about today.
Mm-hmm. Let's go
Finishing
there.
strong. Yes, finishing strong, finishing well,
Mm,
and getting the distinction. And Elizabeth, I just wanted to plug in this running the race and achieving and looking on to the prize, the
mm,
author and finisher of our faith. So, the author and finisher of our 2025, and how are we going to transcend, transition to 2026? And
that's
now
it.
I leave you to it. I shall.
Did you say you leave me to it? Sounds like you're about to walk out on me, Kirubai.
No, no, no. I'm not going to walk out. Let's hear what your perspective of our title today, finishing strong.
Wow. So obviously, like today's the last day of September 2025, isn't it? And
Mhm,
tomorrow
mhm.
we're into the final quarter of 2025. Who would have thought, right? You start the year and you're like, oh, it's gonna be an amazing year, and the year starts and like there's ups, there's downs, there's rivers, there's valleys, there's so much for you to go through, there's so much for you to overcome, there's some stuff that you just slide through, there's some stuff that you sweat through, there's some stuff that you cry through, but we make it and we are still here. If you are tuned in to today's conversation, there's a reason why you are still alive today. There's a reason why you are here today. There's a reason why you are listening to this today. And so they say, tomorrow is not promised, and we don't know when our time will come, but we're here. We've made it to this stage, this part of 2025. And now we are looking ahead to 2026. But actually, for this last leg, this last quarter, this how can we do it? How can we run this race? How can we finish strong? You watch athletics, and if it's like a marathon or like a 10,000 kilometers, like as they get to the final bell, they hear that bell, and it's like you have to kick in this energy that you had reserved. You have to kick it in, and you hear the commentators saying, yeah, they just kicked, and they kick and they go, and they find this speed from within. So I think today's conversation is really around, like, what do I need to do to ensure that I finish 2025 strong? Because a lot might have happened in 2025. In fact, for some of us, you might be sitting there thinking, how did I even make it to this day? Because so much has been thrown at me. and we just want to encourage you and maybe share some intentional things that you can do, because when you are intentional about the way you spend your time, when you're intentional with the things that you are doing, when you are intentional with the way that you plan the days ahead, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. It's like having a vision. You're going somewhere, you have a plan to go somewhere. They say if you don't plan, you plan to fail, right? So you have to have a some sort of plan over the next 3 months. What do I want to achieve? What do I want to finish off? What do I want to start? You know, and so I want us to just think about, as we start this conversation, think about things that you could potentially achieve in the next 3 months, or even ask yourself at the end of 2025, what do I want to look back on? Like, what are some of the things I want to look back on and say, I'm glad I did that? Or as we get into 2026, are there some things that you want to make sure you are ready for? Because you might have insights into your 2026. And so, the next 3 months are preparation months for what's coming in 2026, because that is the reality. These next 3 months are not just for you to finish 2025, but they're for you to prepare for 2026. So, what is your perspective of 2026? What are you seeing ahead of you in 2026? Is it motivating you to grow up? Is it motivating you to dream big? Is it inspiring you to grow your network? Is it inspiring you to pick up a book and read, to listen to a podcast, to launch something, to birth something? What When you look ahead at 2026, what are you inspired to do in the next 3 months? Because the next 3 months, yes, will determine how you finish 2025, but they will also determine your momentum as you start 2026. So that's really what we want to set on fire.
Mhm. Thank you for sharing. I like the word momentum. When we finish with us with a bang, strongly, confidently, then our 2026, it can pick up the momentum because we already prepped ourselves and putting things in plan. That means what you are saying, Elizabeth, is just putting an outline of what you want to achieve maybe in the first quarter. So when planning is that means taking a calendar and putting down what you want to do. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's, what are you envisioning for 2026? So for example, let me use myself, right? So right now I should be looking at, making sure that there's some speaking engagements lined up. If not, how can I get more speaking engagements so that when I start 2026, I'm not looking to say, ooh, I need to start making sure that I've got coaching clients booked in for the next 3 to 6 months. So it's really just ensuring that by the time 2026 starts, because we have that Christmas period, right? And that Christmas period, like, we all slow down, and then it's like, oh, I need to start again, I need to pick up my pace again. But if you build momentum now, it's going to help you as 2026 starts. And so much can happen in 3 months. Honestly, so much can happen in 3 months. So let's make it happen. Like, let's dare to believe, let's take some action, and let's say in the next 3 months, this is what I'm going to do.
So are you saying that we need to have short-term goals?
We can put in place some short term goals, which will, you might have a bigger goal. And so over the next 3 months, it's the steps to get you to achieve the bigger goal. So, what are some of those short term things that you can do, whether it's month in, month out, or over the next 3 months? What can we work towards?
Mm. Well, a lot of us, like I know you mentioned earlier, a lot of us during the month of December, especially during the time we celebrate with celebrations and partying, we lose momentum.
Mm,
And I think I think that is the best time. You have your family celebrations. This is my personal opinion. I could be totally wrong. The days after Christmas, entering into the new year, taking some time out for yourself and reflecting and putting things in order. And I think a lot better when I'm under pressure, I must say. So the pressure to perform in 2026, it just kicks up, and I have to put certain things and try to bring it to bring it to a start in 2026. Like, I
Mm.
like what you said, Elizabeth, because if we take that whole December, because we will have parties, we will have to go shopping, presents, and then family gatherings, cooking, cleaning. As women, we have all our chores already lined up. so, so how are we going to take some time away, space away for ourselves to put things in order? And
Mm.
children will be in they will have a break, Christmas break. And there's so much activities going on. So how are we going to make some time, Elizabeth? I know me not having children, but in the height of festivity, you tend to kind of lag behind. And I'm already envisioning myself, oh yes, I'm going to sit and eat all the cookies that I've baked. No, I can't.
No, Kirubai.
It's true. I mean, I'm being very honest.
Mm.
So how are we going to overcome this, our personal mindset?
I think one of the first things that's going to be important is, what do we see? What is our vision? And so now might be a good time to start putting together the pieces for your 2026 vision board. It's a good time to start thinking about it. Like, what do I want my 2026 to be about? Who do I want to become in 2026? That's always a good question to ask. Who do I want to become? Because who you want to become is going to determine your habits and your actions. So once you decide, who do I want to become, you start thinking about, well, how am I going to become that person? What do I need to do to ensure that I become that person? So having a vision for some of the things that you would like to achieve in 2026 will make a difference. So again, back to using myself as an example, right? So one of the things I want to do in 2026 is I want to speak more than I spoke this year, but not just on stages here in the UK, but on international stages. So not just online, but in person. So I want to be able to travel to somewhere else and speak, whether it's America, whether it's Malaysia, whether it's Uganda, whether it's Nigeria, whether it's somewhere in Europe. I want to do that. So now I need to start thinking, well, if I want to do that, how am I going to get to that? What are the steps I need to take? Are there events I need to put myself forward for? Do I need to do more on social media and target particular audiences? Like, what is it that I need to do to ensure that I get to that place? So it's envisioning, what do I want my 2026 to be about? How can I start getting myself ready for it? Because now is a good time to get ready for it. So for me, one of the things I want to achieve in the next 3 months is to write a book. And I'm saying it on here because I need some accountability, and I've been saying this for a while now. So I need to get down to it and actually just get writing. And so this is part of finishing strong. This is part of finishing strong. It's being able to sit down and just push the things that have lagged behind. Like, you might be looking at your 2025 vision board and you're thinking, oh, I've not even done half of this. That's okay. What from those things on your vision board can you accomplish in the next 3 months? What can you start working on? because it's doable. But we have to be intentional with our actions. So, what are you seeing? That's going to make a difference, because what you see should provoke you into action. What you see should inspire you. What you see should push you. What you see should challenge you. And when I'm talking about seeing, I'm not just talking about seeing from a physical realm. I'm talking about like seeing in your imagination. I'm talking about seeing in the realm of the spirits, like having faith. What am I seeing? When I stop to dream about what 2026 is going to look like, what do I see ahead of me? How can I bring it to life?
Mm.
For me, that would be a good place to start. What do you see? So take a moment, dream about your 2026, and then start to think about what you can do. Kirubai is excited. She's seeing something in her 2026. She's like, yeah, I want that.
Well, one of my goals is, I need to get fitter. And my one of as winter approaches, you don't want to go out much, and that's my biggest setback.
Mm,
And to get fitter, you don't have to be a bodybuilder, but you need to movement. So I need to move more, and braving the weather is one of those things that I struggle with, being very honest. And so I need to be careful, and how I need to factor that into my daily life.
mm,
Maybe half an hour walk outside and catch the little bit of sun that we are blessed with. So factoring time and factor, we always make excuse and say we don't have time.
mm,
If I need to do this, probably I need to maybe get up half an hour earlier.
mm-hmm,
Half an hour earlier, and that means sleeping earlier,
mm-hmm,
and putting some, plugging in some walking time that will not compromise my daily lifestyle, my quiet time with the Lord, reading the Word, and using the walking time to connect with God, connect with my thoughts,
mm,
so that half an hour will really make a difference. But you know what? When you are under the under the duvet, it's so hard to get out. But that's your flesh.
mm,
And a lot of us are like that. We struggle overcoming our flesh, and it's mind over matter fighting.
mm,
So it's my personal challenge. I mean, I'm being very vulnerable here. I know I need to get well. I need to get better, more resilient in my health, to really take care of my health,
mm,
and to try and get into that beautiful dress Elizabeth gave me from Uganda. So, there's so many things that, you need to achieve. And health, as they say, health is wealth. If you don't have your health, you can't do everything that you want to um, set yourself to do. Health is so important.
very true. Yeah, that's a good
So
one.
that's where I'm focusing, really to work on myself.
Mm.
Mm.
Wow, thank you for sharing that, Kirubai. Because I think, like you said, health is something that we all need to work on. It's something that we all need to work towards to make sure that we are in good health, because you cannot live the life you want to live if you have poor health. So whatever we need to do in terms of looking after our health, we need to try and do that. So, and
Sorry, let me, because you're still in your very prime, and I'm like going into menopause. So I've got so many challenges that come against me.
mm,
And a lot of women who are capable of, but they do not know what's happening in their bodies, and it could be menopause.
wow. Mm.
Mm. So I know, Elizabeth, I mean, enjoy the youth, enjoy and do all the things that you can do to run that race.
Yes, we will do. Like when it comes to exercise, one of the things I'm always amused about, like I don't. There was a time where I used to go to the gym a lot, but I haven't been to the gym properly in a very long time. But one of the things that we try and do, which I actually enjoy doing, is we walk Janaya to school, and it's a half an hour walk. It's a good half an hour walk. um and that's something, like doing that back and forth in itself is something. And so
Oh,
that's a little pat on the back, like every time we do it, like at least you're doing some exercise. Yes, you're not out there like lifting weights or running or whatever, but it is something. But Kirubai, you mentioned something that's very key, and I think I'll hit on it a bit. One of the things that we need to be conscious of is how we spend our time. So I I speak in school sometimes, and one of the things I ask the kids is, how many hours do you get in a day? And obviously they will say, we get 24 hours in the day, miss. I'm like, okay, how many hours does the prime minister get? 24 hours. How many hours does the richest person get? It's 24 hours. So, sorry, I need to grab a drink.
yes, have a sip.
Sorry, a coughing
You all
fit.
right?
I think I'm okay. Sorry. So we all get 24 hours in a day. Now, what we do with those 24 hours determines who we become. So it's so important for us to manage our time. So if health is a priority, make time for health. If personal development is a priority, make time for it. If time with family is a priority, make time. Because your 24 hours will come and go. They will come and go. And once it's gone, it's gone. My 24 hours today, I can't get it tomorrow. Tomorrow is another set of 24 hours. So, how I spend my 24 hours is going to determine who I am becoming. If I want to become better at something, I make time for it. So, as we're talking about finishing strong, how do I finish it? How do I finish strong? I make time. I make time for the things that are important. I make time for the things that matter. I make time for the things I want to become. How you spend your time over the next couple of months determines how you finish and determines how you start 2026. So consider, how am I going to spend my 24 hours every day? See and consider how you spend your time. Over to you, Coach K.
So you touched on time, and I did share a little bit on time too. Time management is very, very, very important, and time management falls into the bracket of planning and tying up to your goals. So planning, tying up to your goals, it's also about activating your legacy. What you do, your children follow. For those of us who have children, your children see what you do and they emulate it. So if you are not a good role model, you don't leave a good legacy behind. So for those of us who do not have children, there are other people that we mentor. Other you have nieces, nephews, or cousins who are around you who look at you and they want to be that person that you are. So they are you're under watchful eyes. So being a role model, you're also leaving a part of you, a legacy into people's lives. So yes, you are human, you will fall, you will falter, but I think role model as a being a good role model leaves and builds a good legacy. So as like Robert and I, we don't have children, but we have a lot of spiritual children and we speak into many people's lives. So activating our legacy, my legacy, so I have to be correct. So when 2020 and when you end 2025, analyzing of reflecting on the things that you have not geared up to, you got to bring it to fulfillment in 2026. And 20, I hear prophetically, I hear a lot of rumbling about 2026. It's going to be a year of many, many things that were not manifested in all these years are going to be manifested in our lives. So we have to be ready in our body, in our mind, and in our spirit to receive, to carry forth this legacy God has given you. So I am very reminded of this. I'm very conscious that 2026 is going to be a year of many breakthroughs. I'm sure a lot of us have prayed so hard all these years, and there are some prayers that are not being answered yet. So it's going to be on in the year 2026. Mark my words. So I have to prepare myself. I'm in anticipation. I have to finish well this year, so my eyes can see the vision coming to completion
Mm.
in 2026. Does that make sense, Elizabeth?
That makes sense. And I like what you said about legacy, because whatever we are building, we should build with longevity in mind.
Mm.
And that's what legacy really is. It's longevity. It's not just I'm building something that will be here today and gone today, but I'm building something that will be here today that will have lasting impact. Generation after generation after generation will remember this. I'm here to do something, create something, birth something that is going to impact, you know, on a wide scale. So yes, you might impact one person, but it has a ripple effect. And the impact is not just something that happens now and then tomorrow is not remembered. So whatever we are looking to do to help us finish strong, we should think long term as opposed to short term. So the impact that we are making, think of it from a long term perspective and not a short term perspective. The decisions we are making. Kirubai, you mentioned about like watching your weight, your height, your, what am I talking about? Your weight, and just managing your health. So that is longevity. It's not just about I want to look good for today, but I want to be in good health so I can live longer potentially, right? I want to be in good health so that as I get older, I'm still, fit. I'm still doing all these things. So whatever we are building or whatever we are trying to finish, let's think of it from a, and you might bring into it like the whole idea of delayed gratification, that there's some things that you might have to say no to now because you are building something bigger. There's some things that are a distraction right now, and those things are slowing you down and stopping you from focusing on the bigger picture. And so being able to just re-strategize, being able to take a step back and say, hang on, I've got 3 months left. Realistically, what can I do in 3 months? How can I challenge myself? Because what I do in the next 3 months is the foundation for me to build upon in 2026. Because I'm not starting and stopping. I'm continuing from where I finish. So where 2025 finishes, 2026 begins. You can't say, oh no, now I need to become a new person. No. Who you are at the end of 2025 is the same you that comes into 2026. So what changes do you need to make now to prepare you so that you have that momentum? You have that momentum that we talked about. What is it you need to be doing over the next 3 months? If you were to be really specific and actually pick one thing, what is that one thing that you need to do over the next 3 months to get you to the starting position you want to be in for 2026?
So, Elizabeth, I know you do a lot of coaching on this area, setting goal setting, and one of the things is the vision board you do. Do you do it in a workshop style? I know you do it on a workshop style, but do you do it on a personal level, one on one?
Absolutely, absolutely. We can do one-on-one, we can do group, you can just come to workshops where we are doing it. I think it's very much, I mean, vision boards, doing a vision board, it's nice to do it in group, but I think it's even better to do it individually, because it really gives you time to narrow in to what you really want. It's not, there's no pressure here and there, because when you're doing it in group, you're almost like, I want mine to look good. So you're looking at your neighbor, you're like, oh, that looks good, maybe I can take that. You're getting inspiration from what you're seeing in other people's vision boards. But when you're doing it by yourself, it's really, what are those things? And I think one thing that's important for us as people of faith is what seeing not just from our own eyes, our own perspective, but seeing from God's perspective. So if there are things that God has spoken to you, how do you start preparing for those things? What
I like that.
season do you believe you are in from a spiritual perspective? A
Mm.
few months ago, I think this was maybe end of last year, beginning of this year. One of the things I was saying to people, I believe I'm in a running season. That's what I was saying. I believe I'm in a running season. It's not time for me to stop and chill. No, no, no. It's time for me to run with the things of God. And so my theme for the year was walking in authority, because I needed to run with the things that God has placed in my hands. And so that was the season I was in. And in fact, I'm still in that running season, because this year, like the last 12 months, saw me sort of birthing some things that were inside, and they needed to come out. Some things were, when you've sort of given birth halfway, you can see the head, you need to push a bit more so that the full body can come out. Some things were like that. So we needed to push so the full body comes out. And that's what happened with my Dare to Believe Women's Conference. Because I had done a virtual conference in 2020. But I had left it to one side until last year. The time is now. So end of last year, we had to do it. We had to do it. And from that, prayer breakfast was birthed. And this year we're coming back with another conference, begin first Saturday of December. Details will follow. But it's sir, you're absolutely right. It's the running season. So understand what season you are in. What season are you in? So if you are someone of faith, go and pray. Say, God, what do you have? Like, what do you have for me in 2026? How can I prepare for it? One of the things I did towards the end, September last year, this time last year, I signed up to a school of intercession. Why? Because for me, it was another thing I needed to build. It was another component I needed to build for where God is taking me, for what He's drawing me into. So we are not building and finishing strong without a vision for tomorrow. We need to have a vision for tomorrow. We need to see where we are going, so that whatever we are building with that picture in mind. If you have a child, whatever you are pouring in your child today, you are birthing something for tomorrow. So what do you see in there tomorrow? The answer to that will help you to decide what you need to pour in now, because of what you are seeing in there tomorrow. So I think this is a call to be not necessarily to be seers, but it's a call to have vision. If we are going to finish strong, we need to have a vision. Yes, a vision for what we want the end of 2025 to look like, but more importantly, 2026. What are we seeing for it? So I talked about how you spend your time. I talked about your vision. Kirubai has mentioned some other things as well. And as you're listening and watching this, I want you to just really take a moment to just reflect. Take a moment to think. Ask yourself, what's my 2026 going to look like? How can I finish 2025 in preparation for that? Let me use the example of someone who's preparing for a championship, right? Let's say athletics championships. Your race is not today, but what you do today prepares you for your race. So the race could be likened to your 2026. So what you do over the next 3 months is going to determine how you start your 2026, or how you position yourself for your race. So when we're talking about finishing strong, it's finishing strong so we can start with a good momentum. So our finishing strong is not just impacting 2025, but it is also going to have an effect on the way we start our 2026. So some of us might need to put in place some boundaries, right? We might need to get a bit more disciplined. And whether that's disciplined with our time, disciplined with our finances, disciplined in our health, where do you need to tighten the bolt, tighten the nut? Where do you need to tighten? Where do you need to add discipline? For some of us, maybe we need to read in a particular area, sign up for a course, listen to a podcast, listen to a YouTube. What is it that you need to do?
Can I say, I love the point that you shared about the spoken word, the prophetic word that is over your life that is still in question. If we all believe there is a prophetic unction that somebody has spoken over someone who has got a prophetic unction that is spoken over our lives, then that is the word God has given this instrument to share with you. Then it must, if God has given this word, it must come to pass, right? So, what are the prophetic words that has not come to pass in our lives? Because God is still waiting for us to take action.
Kirubai, let's not get started on that, you know. I always say this, that some of us, the prophetic words are seated in a journal on our shelves,
Mm,
seated in a journal on our reading table. One of the things that I think I was reminded of this year and maybe end of last year was go back to the prophetic words. Go back to the prophetic words that have been spoken over you. Remind yourself of those prophetic words. Remind God of those prophetic words. Not that he's forgotten, but remind him. And start to position yourself. If and this is where like our faith has to be evidenced. If you believe that that prophetic word is going to come to pass, how are you going to prepare for it? What do you need to do to prepare for the manifestation of that prophetic word? There are things you're going to have to do. It's not just, oh, I received this amazing word and you put it there, you forget about it, you leave it there. No, there's things that you must do to prepare. That's why it's good to have an idea of where you're going.
mm. A lot of us forget because we don't write it down. We don't journal these words spoken over our lives. It could be in a church setting or in a retreat setting, but there are people around us that are constantly putting speaking the right words over our lives.
Mm,
I come from a church where the pastor preaches the sermon. It's a prophetic word. I take it as a spoken word, and I take it as a word for me in season.
mm,
Got to get my whole body, mind, and spirit revived.
that's it.
It's revival time.
That's it.
I know,
That's
I
it.
know, it's a very tough pill to swallow. This topic, because a lot of us have fallen behind. This taking this 3 months break has also I personally have had to get my husband had to give me a kickstart and say, when are you guys starting? But you know what? Because sometimes we lose momentum in our lives,
Mm.
and we cannot lose momentum because we slip back into our old ways when we lose momentum. So that's why we sometimes, most of the time, we need accountability partners.
And that might be the thing that some of us need to put in place in order for us to
Yes, right.
finish strong
Mm-hmm,
is accountability. Who is going to
mm-hmm,
hold you accountable to finishing strong?
mm-hmm. So, I thank God that, I have my husband who keeps his eyes peeled on me and he gives me a kick sometimes. Most times when I'm not good doing the right thing, he'll tell me off. But you know what? For our own good.
Mm.
So when you show up and shine, it's also an accountability group, right?
It's accountability all the way, that's
Yeah.
one of the biggest things about it. So for those that
Mm,
are watching and are wondering what's this show up and shine, I run a social media visibility challenge for Christian women, and it's really a community and space for Christian women to come together. We inspire, challenge, provoke each other to show up and shine consistently on social media. Um, and not just on social media actually, because I I I like to think that we shouldn't just show up and shine on social media. It has to be in every space that God has called us. Every space where we have influence, every space where we are physically. like we have to show up and shine. I don't just You don't just show up and shine on social media and then in person you're like the worst person to be around. No, 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 no. No. Be authentic. Be authentic. Don't be one person on social media and another person in person. No. So the challenge is really, there's a Facebook group, and we have weekly catch-ups where we come together, have conversations around what's working, what's not working, who needs encouragement. We pray together as well. And I'm so excited to see how women are growing in confidence. Like someone can join the group when they're scared of doing videos. Within a few weeks and months, they are just at it. They're doing videos. Because some of us are thinking, where do I start? Why is it even important for me to show up on social media? Well, there's over 4 billion people on social media. And sometimes we like to say that social media is a dark place, like there's a lot of negativity. Well, you can be the person that brings the light. You can bring your light and shine it on social media, and it can impact somebody. And the reality is that, there'll be some people watching who might not engage with what's being said, but actually they're watching and they're listening and they're taking action. So I encourage people, like, if you can show up on social media, not just to scroll through other people's content, but actually to create content that will bless, that will impact, that will change somebody's life, then please do. And so in the group, that's what we do, and we hold each other accountable to ensure that we show up and shine consistently, not just as and when we feel like, but consistently. So if you want information on it, please send me a message. I will send you the details.
Yes, that's, yeah, to overcome our fears, get on with the show up and shine. I
That's
know
it.
Elizabeth is the queen of reels. She loves doing her videos, and you know what? That shows your confidence.
Thank you.
Mm. So, Elizabeth, any upcoming events that we're going to have soon?
Yes, there will be upcoming events. The information will be trickling through social media at some point. But on the first Saturday of December, I will be having my Dare to Believe Women's Conference. So that's something to look forward to over the next 3 months. Alongside that, actually, our Shop and Shine community is having a little get together, so I'm looking forward to that. And there's other events that are happening that I'm going to be part of. There's an event happening on 21st of November in Maidstone, which I should be speaking at. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, there's different things happening here, there, and everywhere. But if you follow me, then you can get that information. Kirubai, do you have any stuff coming out on your end?
Actually, I am putting a lot of things, like, taking this last 3 months to run that race. So those things that I have personally not worked on, I'm working it through this year. Uh, of course, this whole full 10 days, I'm having visitors. So I will, be spending a lot of time with my aunts who traveled from Malaysia, and spending time and doing things that I've not done quite a bit. I always take time to, there are places that living in the UK for 15 years, there's still some places I have not visited. So whenever there is some new visitors, I tag along, go with them and visit some new places. That's also a personal challenge, because every time somebody comes, I'm doing something new. So I'm looking forward to it for the next 10 days. And after which I do not have any, I do have a speaking engagement on the 1st of November. So I'm looking forward to it. And the rest of the time, I'm going to sort out myself. I think I have got some new energy, actually.
That's
I'm
good.
happy. Yes. And more clarity on the certain things that I've been waiting on the Lord. So I'm very excited about that, Elizabeth.
Mm.
Mm. And, of course, the events that you are running, I will be part of it, just being a nuisance, your sidekick. So I'm happy to be part of that. And I'm also spending a lot of time networking this season.
Mm.
And networking is important if you want to get your personal brand out. And I see the importance of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, networking is
Here's a
it's
network.
something we all need to learn to do, right? It's something we all need to just put ourselves out there, because the clients you need, go and network, whether you're networking online or networking in person. Like, you never know who is in the room, you never know the connection. Like, it could be that your next big collaboration is sat in the
Yeah.
room next to you, but you don't know it unless you start having a conversation, unless you network. So yeah, the idea of networking is really good. It
Yeah.
pays.
So trying to do maybe a fortnight, some networking. Yeah. Sometimes we let's just chat, but we don't sell ourselves.
Mm,
And we have to do it intentionally. And that's another thing that we get caught with this conversation, and then we do not tell others what we are really all about.
mm,
Mm. And you carry something very important. All of those, all those who watch this video, you carry something
mm,
important to share. And that's part of networking. You're being intentional about what God is doing in your life, and showing and showing up, and shining and showing up.
there, you show up and shine wherever you are, isn't it? You show up with the
That's
light
right.
that you carry, and you shine it. You shine it. You
Mm-mm,
don't dim it. You shine it. When the Bible says occupy till I come, it's not
mm,
just like play small. It's occupy. It's take up
mm,
space, basically.
mm.
So take territory. Like, don't just settle for small thinking, or making small moves, or just being silent and not networking or shining your light. No, go shine your light. Like, don't allow anybody to dim your light, to tell you to dim your light. No, shine it. Shine it. The world needs what you have. Like Kirubai said, we carry something very valuable, and the sooner we realize what we carry, there has to be like a sense of urgency that is started on the inside of us, to really shine and to show up with the thing that we carry. So yeah, the mandate is on all of us to finish the year strong. Finish the year strong, and this is all part of building your legacy, like Coach Kirubai said, and it's all part of building the momentum for 2026. But we need to be intentional in taking action. We need to be intentional in how we manage our time. We need to be intentional with the vision. What are we seeing? What are we seeing? So I think with that, we are going to close for this evening. Unless you have anything else to add, Kirubai.
No, we are bang on time. Yeah, I think we have said our hearts. We wish all of you well for the next three months, and if you really need some help, we are here to help you.
Mhm.
We're here to listen to you, and to signpost you to the right direction, so you can get set to run that race.
Mm,
Mhm.
absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us this evening. Please like, share, subscribe, comment so we can acknowledge acknowledge you. Tell us where you're watching from. It would be great to just connect with you, right? Part of growing our network. Yes. So God bless you, and see you next Tuesday.